Hey y'all, so this video is a little bit different from my VSG weight loss related videos. I've gotten questions before in regards to like how did I become a flight attendant, what should you do to become a flight attendant. So I decided, don't nobody want to text me until I'm busy. So I decided to kind of touch on the topic and maybe even start doing a little bit more of these videos, even though I'm about to start training in a matter of a week. So yeah, so this video is just a little bit, well, 8 tips that I wrote down really quickly on how to become a flight attendant. So if you're interested in this video, make sure that you keep on watching. Okay, so number one, when you are thinking about becoming a flight attendant, this is number one because it is the most necessary piece of equipment that you will have before you even walk through the door, and that is make sure you have a passport. Make sure you have a passport, not make sure that you applied for it. It's very important that you already have your passport in your possession before you start applying, because sometimes the hiring process for airlines is very quick and sometimes it's very slow, and then you could take that time to apply after you get the job or after you get the interviews and stuff. But once you actually get the interview with the company, things start rolling fairly quickly. So it's very important that you have a passport before you start applying, and at least make sure that you have at least like 5 years left on your passport before it 3 to 5 years on your passport before it expires, because it does take a while to get a new passport. 2 is make sure that you have some great customer experience on your resume. As you know that being a flight attendant is very much so customer service oriented. That is not the most important part of your job, but it's the the most seen by the public view part of your job. So it's very important that you have customer experience and customer experience that you can pull from to kind of tie into those interview questions that your interviewer might ask you. Number 3 is make sure that you are okay with relocating. It is very kind of frowned upon in the beginning of a new flight attendant's life to commute, which basically means you live, like me, I live in Florida, but if I was based in like Hawaii, okay, it's probably not a good example. If I was based in Texas, in Houston, it's not really ideal for you to commute every day to work. Your employer will probably not recommend it, and well, that's for a whole nother number of reasons. So it's very frowned upon for you to commute. So they really want to know that you're okay with relocating to wherever you have to, wherever you're going to be based out of, at least for the first couple of months, or until you get a hard line or basically a schedule. So make sure that you're okay with relocating, and with that, make sure that you know the bases for the airline that you're applying to. Different airlines have different bases, so make sure that you know that before you kind of apply to the airline and they give you the opportunity and you're like, oh, I really do not want to relocate to Iowa. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you're okay with that. Make sure that you know the bases for the airline that you're applying for. Also, make sure that you're okay with being gone and in the air flying from anywhere from 70% to 90% of the time. For me, I was working for a regional airline, so I was flying a lot. I know sometimes with mainline on a reserve, you don't fly as much, or you can fly a whole lot. Like it's kind of like you don't really know. But for me, my experience was I flew a lot. Like out of a 7-day week, I could fly 6 days. 6 days out of the week. Some days 5. Most days 5. Some weeks 6. So I was gone a lot, and you don't really have a lot of days kind of off together in the beginning, because you don't have control over your schedule. You are a reserve flight attendant, so you kind of go when they need you to go. So make sure that you're okay with being gone and being in the air and being in a metal tube with lots of people all the time. And with that, as being on reserve, make sure that you're okay financially with not having the best of pay in the beginning. Being a flight attendant is a very seniority based type of career. Once you're on the bottom, it sucks. You don't have anything. You're the newbie, so you don't really have much say so. You don't make a lot of money. Like I said, you don't have control over your schedule, so it kind of sucks in the beginning. So you have to make sure that you have some money saved up, and that you have a great financial that you have money saved up, and that you have a great what's the word? Like what is the word? support system. That you have a great support system, because you're gonna need those people to, you know, sometimes maybe even bail you out. I've had that happen before. Or you just need somebody to talk to. Just make sure that you are financially stable and that you have a great support system, because you will need both things in the beginning of this career. Number 6, make sure that I wrote down long strenuous training. So most airlines have a training that is at least 4 weeks. That's kind of the minimum. Sometimes it's like 6 weeks or 8 weeks, depending on the airline. And it is very strenuous. You are having a test every other day on new material that you're learning, you know, the day before, and that you have a test on tomorrow. So you have to be in the mindset of, you know, college and being, you know, in school, because you will have to study. It's not like something that you can kind of just like, you know, fly by the seat of your pants. You will have to study. You will have long nights and long days, but that's gonna even be a part of your lifestyle. So number 7, I have make sure that you research the company culture. That is very important when you are deciding on which airlines to apply to, and you know, where you could probably see yourself long term. A great website, if you don't already use it, is probably glassdoor.com. You can kind of see reviews from people, you know, in the same position or different positions within that same company, what their experiences were, what they have to say, what they like, what they don't like. So make sure that you research the company culture, because that in itself will determine the experience that you have as a flight attendant. So yeah, that's very important. And the last thing I have is apply. It's very simple. People always ask me, how did you become a flight attendant? And honestly, I just sat there on Google, found this website. I'll probably link it down below. And I found this website that lists all the airlines, or, you know, the bulk of the airlines that are hiring at different times. And I just sat there and I looked through the ones that I, you know, was interested in, and I applied. It's just that simple. Like, you don't have to go to flight attendant school. I've seen people ask that question as well before. I would say do not pay all that money to go to a flight attendant training or a flight attendant school, because most of the times they cannot guarantee you a spot, you know, in the airline industry. They could just, you know, train you per se, but the company that you end up working for will do that anyway. So it's kind of like, why? Like, why spend all that money? So do not pay those people at those flight attendant schools. Sorry if y'all are watching. Do not pay them to go to their training. Apply to the airline that you want to work for. If you get the job, they will train you and teach you everything that you need to know for their airline and for, you know, for the company. So yeah, that is it. If I think of anything else, I'll probably add it in the comments below. Or if you think of anything and you're a flight attendant and you're watching this video and you want to add, make sure you add it down below. People are always using YouTube as a search engine to find out all kinds of stuff, which here for it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next video, whenever that is. All right, bye guys.